Hello, everybody, and welcome to Allen M. Barrett Field here at Gilman School for this matchup between the Gilman Greyhounds and the Mount St. Joe Gaels. I am Julian Barron alongside Hap Conover to my left and Matt Tomaselli to my right. We've got a great matchup for you here today, again between these Greyhounds and the Mount St. Joe Gaels. The Greyhounds have gotten off to a great start so far in MIAA play, but the Mount St. Joe Gaels, they've been struggling. They're 0-2 so far in conference, and when you have a bad in-conference start, Matt, that can be tough for even the best of teams.
It absolutely can, and in such a long season, you want to start to get right on track as early as you can and get out of that kind of slump. But St. Joe has had a history of being a good program, and they have some talent on this team, and I think they will be able to respond, but they're going to have a tough test today against these Gilman Greyhounds, who are leading the MIAA right now.
And taking the mound today for Gilman will be Danny Rosenfield. He will be getting the start.
Yeah, and we'll get to see the freshman Danny Rosenfield again. Certainly one of the young guns on this Gilman team. They're really excited to have him pitching, and they want to work him into the rotation as one of the top 3-4 starters, which is pretty unique for a freshman. And he's risen to the occasion, and we'll see what he can do today against these Gaels.
And, of course, behind the plate will be the ever-dangerous number 24, the senior catcher for Gilman, Drew Ehrlich. And we saw last year when the Greyhounds took on the Gaels in the MIAA playoffs, he hit himself a bomb to left field. So we'll see if he can do that again today and repeat history a little bit, Matt.
Absolutely. We love that little clip from Greyhound TV. It's one of our favorite highlights. And,
It is.
I'm sure we'll always be happy to relive that moment.
So here we go. We are about to get underway here at Gilman School. Leading it off for Mount St. Joe is Jack Stilling standing in now. The catcher defensively for the Gaels. He's batting first. On deck is Luke Hess.
Pretty unusual to have a catcher leading off. You don't usually see that.
And this will be taken down low to begin this at-bat, 1-0.
See if he has some sort of speed that catchers don't usually have.
Delivery from Rosenfield. This ball is struck to right field. It's slicing towards the wall, and it's going to be over the head of Pierce Bennett out there in right. Stilling's going to pull up to second base safely, and he has a leadoff stand-up double.
Well, what he does have, Hap, is a double, and that was a good piece of leadoff hitting there for the Gaels. That's how they want to start this game against a good Gilman team and a young freshman pitcher who's going to have to work through having a runner on in scoring position early.
So with nobody down and a man on second base, here comes Luke Hess for the Gaels. On deck is Ethan Gallagher, the Wake Forest commit. Rosenfield with some early work to do on the mound. That is taken for a ball inside, 1-0.
Rosenfield just needs to settle down right here. He made a couple of nice pitches before he gave up that double in the first at-bat. If he just relaxes, he should be okay.
The delivery from Rosenfield. This is taken inside. It gets away from Drew Ehrlich, and the runner will advance to third base. Not the best start here for Rosenfield. He needs to find the command, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's important to do that early and not dig yourself too much of a hole here. He's all right now, and certainly giving up a run with this Gilman offense in the first inning won't be a huge deal, but more importantly, he wants to get that confidence on the mound.
Delivery from Rosenfield will be taken for a strike at the inside corner. Nice way to try and get back in this count here. Delivery, a swing and a miss. Count even 2-2, Rosenfield, 2 Hess. And the delivery on the 2-2, this ball is put up foul behind the plate.
Rosenfield doing a nice job here, keeping the ball down in the zone. That's what you want to do. Just try to get a ground ball here with the infield in. Maybe have a play at the plate potentially.
2-2 again from Rosenfield. This will be taken for a ball, so we go full 3-2 Rosenfield with a man 90 feet away from the plate at third base. Nobody down. Top of the first inning here at Allen M. Barrett Field on Greyhound TV. Delivery on the 3-2, down low for a ball. Now we have runners at the corners.
Let's see if Drew Ehrlich, the senior, can calm down freshman pitcher Danny Rosenfield here, who's struggled a little bit finding the zone.
And stepping to the plate, the dangerous Ethan Gallagher, batting in the 3 spot here today. We'll have a moment to clean up the rest of this Gaels lineup for you. After Gallagher will be McManus, the Pittsburgh commit, and then Howell, Gibbs, Putman, Rosen, the DH, and Conley batting last.
And I think if you're Gilman here, you're just looking for outs. Sacrificing this run on third base isn't going to be the biggest deal in the world. If you could get a double play here, that'd be great.
This ball is shot into left center field. It's going to go straight at the center fielder Martinez. Coming home to tag and score is the lead runner, and it's 1-0 Mount St. Joe early.
And right there, that's, like you said, Matt, not the worst possible scenario right there for Gilman. Just looking to get some outs here, and certainly with a commit right there, you're one of their best hitters in the lineup, batting third. You're happy to take the out there, concede the run, and now Danny Rosenfield got a little more confidence working here, and hopefully should be able to work out of this inning.
Now Rosenfield faces the lefty McManus. And this ball is struck to center field again. Going back is Martinez. He's watching it go back, and it's going to be over his head. The lead runner's going to go to third base. Martinez throws to the cutoff man, Charlie Darby, and Darby will get it back into Mike Willis in time to hold the runners from coming home. But there are now 2 men in scoring position with 1 down.
And while Rosenfield has struggled, he has not gotten any help here from the outfielders. 2 pretty poor reads there. It's certainly a tough ball there for Martinez out there in deep center. But not the best of read. And on that first one from Stilling in the top of the lineup, the leadoff hit, wasn't the best read and right there either from Pierce Bennett. Perhaps not catchable balls, but definitely Rosenfield's going to need some help while he's struggling here early.
Here is Jake Howell as the runner was going to try and steal home. They throw back to Costas, who misses the tag, and he gets back safely.
And that's a poor job by the Gilman defense right there. They had him dead to right in a failed squeeze play, and Costas came too far in on the in the pickle there and was unable to make the tag. That's a wasted opportunity right there that Mount St. Joe is going to look to take advantage of.
Jake Howell at the plate right now with a 1-0 count on his head. He's pitching today for the Gaels. He takes a few practice hacks outside of the box, and now he stands back in. Runners at second and third for Mount St. Joe. Rosenfield with 1 down in the inning delivers this one a strike on the swing.
Yeah, again, this Gilman defense not quite awake out here. They're going to have to find it very quickly if they want to not sacrifice too big of a lead here with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 already across the plate in the top of the first.
The count 1-1 on Howell. And Rosenfield delivers to the plate. This ball is struck down to first base. Knocked down by Mike Willis. He turns around, tries to pick it up, and will not get there in time to record the out. Another run scores, and now runners are at the corners with 1 down, and it's 2-0 Mount St. Joe.
Yeah, and this, again, like you said, Matt, this Gilman defense doesn't seem to be awake right there. It seems like a tough hop, but a pretty routine play right there for first baseman Mike Willis, unable to corral the ball, and now 2 runners on the corners, and only 1 out. Gilman's got to regroup here and try to limit this St. Joe, onslaught here to start this first inning.
Right, a good job to knock it down by Willis, but that play is kind of representative of how this game is going thus far.
That's
very early for the Gilman Greyhounds.
Mike Willis watched that ball fall right off of his jersey in front of him. Then it got under his legs. He could not recover in time to get to the bag and record the out. The throw back on the steal. Now Willis is going to need to throw quickly to second to tag, and he is out, but the run will score.
Nice move there from Rosenfeld.
3-0 Mount St. Joe off the double steal.
That might have been a planned play right there from St. Joe. Looked to get the run because Gilman was distracted by the runner running from first to second, and make sure he comes in all that confusion. And now they've got 3 runs to start this game. Pretty solid outing for their offense so far. Gilman definitely needs to regroup here.
Right, and I think the St. Joe base runner was going on Danny's first move, which happened to be to first base.
This is taken for a ball away by Matt Gibbs. And you know that Rosenfield is going to see that runner moving. He's a lefty. He's facing first base, so he will be distracted if a runner tries to go very easily. That'll be taken for a strike in the outside corner, 1-1. Mount St. Joe out to a 3-0 lead over the Greyhounds in the top of the first inning. Delivery from Rosenfield. A swing and a miss. A nice pitch right there from Rosenfield. First time he's really tricked a hitter here today.
That's right. He went to the off speed right there, and the St. Joe hitter was confused, able to pick up a strike early in the set bat.
1-2 delivery. Taken for a called strike 3. Gibbs was frozen, and the Gilman offense has their work cut out for them as Gilman is down 3-0 to begin this game. As we head to the bottom of the first inning, we want to remind all of you that you can follow Greyhound TV on Twitter at Greyhound_TV. Once again, that's at Greyhound_TV for all things Greyhound TV. be sure to do that. We really do thank you for tuning in here today on Greyhound TV, and it's been a tough one so far for Rosenfield, Hap.
That's right. Early in this game, the St. Joe hitters were hitting him and hitting him hard. We saw 3 hits to the to deep outfield, and so far can't be too happy with his performance. But we've seen Rosenfield a few times this season, and he's been able to bounce back from some tough situations before. So we'll look to see if he's able to do that here again.
And now as we head into the bottom of the first inning, we want to get you up to speed on the Gilman lineup. Leading it off for Gilman will be Tyler Martinez. He's in center field, followed by Charlie Darby batting second. He'll be playing shortstop. He's the senior. And then Max Costas, number 3 in this lineup today. He'll be at third base. The DH in the cleanup spot, Alex Slodzinski. Then batting fifth, you have Pierce Bennett. He'll be playing right field. Drew Ehrlich, the catcher, will be batting sixth. Mike Willis, the first baseman, batting 7th. Ryan Williamson at second base will be batting 8th. And then Brian Nelson at the tail end of this lineup will be batting 9th and in left field.
Gilman lineup, again, just so potent. We've seen so many times this year. They, will give up a few runs in the first couple of innings, but storm back to take the lead and eventually win the game. So, they're never out of a game, certainly. And this early, that just goes to prove that.
Right, and the bats have been hot, especially those of Ehrlich and Costas, and they've really kept these Greyhounds in games and won games for them. So certainly, it's the first inning, but you can never count out this Greyhound offense, and they're going to look to respond right away here as they face the Mount St. Joe pitcher today.
Yes, Jake Howell on the mound today for Mount St. Joe, and he is getting ready to get underway on the mound against Tyler Martinez in the bottom of the first inning on Greyhound TV. The Greyhounds trying to come back here. They're down 3-0. Delivery from Howell, and Martinez shows bunt.
And we've seen that pretty much every game this year where Martinez leads off. He tries to get on base with that bunt, and usually he's pretty successful. He's got a great bunt down that third baseline, and these catchers have a hard time catching up with it.
Delivery from Howell. This one is hacked foul behind the plate. 1-1 even count on Tyler Martinez. Nobody on, beginning the bottom of the first inning here at Barrett Field at Gilman School against the Gaels. Delivery from Howell. This ball is put up foul right side. On deck, Charlie Darby, the senior. He's been a big contributor for this Gilman team. Saw him last year in the playoffs do some damage. Delivery from Howell. This ball is put foul left side. And Matt, you cannot understate the value of having a lefty in your lineup when you have a righty-dominated team like Charlie Darby.
Absolutely, and Darby a unique player in that he throws right but bats left, but certainly a good mix-up in their lineup.
1-2 and a swing and a miss by Tyler Martinez. He'll go down on strikes to begin the Gilman offensive campaign.
And Howell really reared back on that one. It looked like it had a little more velocity than his first couple of fastballs. Martinez was not able to catch up with that one, and Gilman not getting their leadoff man like they usually do.
And now we'll see Darby, who's struggled at the plate thus far this season, but got a double last game against Georgetown Prep to kind of break out of a 3-for-27 slump. So let's see if he can continue that streak at the plate and maybe build upon that and get his bat moving this season.
The count 1-0 on Charlie Darby. Delivery. Taken for a strike, 1-1 even count from Howell. The 1-1 delivery from Howell. This ball is licked towards right field, and it gets right by the second baseman for a base hit. Matt Gibbs just could not get that ball corralled, and Charlie Darby will reach.
Nice piece of hitting right there by Charlie Darby, able to keep his hands inside and make solid contact on that baseball. And now Gilman with a runner on. This is exactly the guy you want to have at the plate with Max Costas.
Right, and they'll probably be score that as an error as it went off of his glove, but a virtual hit in my mind, as it was a hard hit ball and put kind of in the hole and was a tough play to make for the second baseman. So you certainly, I think if you're Darby, you're happy with that performance at the plate there, and you got a runner on. You got the offense moving here with one out in the bottom of the first.
So here's the meat of the Gilman lineup. Max Costas hacks it foul behind him. 0-1. On deck, Alex Slodzinski. We saw Slodzinski early in last game get himself an RBI double to straightaway center. That was crucial in the Gilman offensive explosion that started right after his hit. Howell looking back to first base, and now the delivery. Max Costas will take up high, and Hap, we've seen time and time again, pitchers are not going to pitch down the middle to Max Costas.
They're certainly not, and you can't really blame him, Julian. It's a lot less damage than if it goes over the wall, which it seems to always do, and so these pitchers definitely being careful with Max Costas.
You certainly don't want to play around with the Maryland commit there, as we've seen him charge balls into center and left and right all over the field.
1-1 delivery, Max Costas will take. 2-1 the count on Costas with Charlie Darby on first base. Gilman with one down in the inning, trying to climb out of a 3-0 hole. Facing Jake Howell of the Gaels, the delivery taken up high, 3-1. And if you're Max Costas, Matt, this is the count you want on the scoreboard.
Absolutely, an absolute hitter's count for an absolute hitter, and we'll see what he does with it.
Delivery on the 3-1, Max Costas will take for a ball, and now Gilman puts a man into scoring position, men on first and second base. Here comes Alex Sladzinski representing the tying run in this one.
And Max Costas, he's never going to help you out. He has such a great eye, and we see him draw so many walks, not only because pitchers are pitching around him, but because he knows the strike zone so well, and right there able to take 4 quick balls and get on first base.
Right, and frankly, if I'm pitching to Max Costas and I have a 3-1 count, I might be doing the same thing and just putting that ball up there and putting him on first base.
1-0 the count on Alex Sladzinski, the righty for Gilman. On deck, Pierce Bennett playing right field here today. Delivery from Howell will be taken, and it hits Sladzinski. He will reach first base on the hit-by pitch, and now the bases are loaded for Gilman. Here comes Pierce Bennett to the plate.
And this Gilman offense, you can just never count them out, as we said earlier. Down 3-0 and storming right back, loading the bases early in this inning. And now Pierce Bennett, you got the 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up against Howell. Great chance to either tie or even take advantage of, maybe even taking a lead in this game.
And Hap, one of the beautiful things about this Gilman lineup is even though we're moving away from that cleanup spot, we've still got very dangerous, very powerful hitters coming up here. On deck is Drew Ehrlich.
That's right. You got Drew Ehrlich, Mike Willis. I mean, they never stop coming at you, and that's what's so tough pitching against this Gilman lineup.
Here is Pierce Bennett, and Bennett sends it to right field. This ball will hook foul. Almost cleared the fence, but it would have been fouled anyway.
For a second, it looked like he could be flirting with that foul pole and then just took an almost 90-degree turn to the right.
It certainly did. Not a lot of wind here today, so that was just the natural trajectory of the ball off the bat.
But Pierce Bennett, definitely a powerful hitter. Only a sophomore, but certainly can do damage.
Howell, the delivery to the plate. That'll be taken for a strike at the knees. Quickly 0-2 with the bases loaded against Pierce Bennett from Jake Howell.
Howell also in some trouble here early against this Gilman lineup.
0-2 delivery from Howell. This will be swung on, and did he foul it off? It looks like he did.
I've seen on a couple of these 2-strike pitches from Howell, he really rears back and gives everything he has in terms of velocity. He was able to strike out Tyler Martinez that way, and right there, Pierce Bennett just able to stay alive by getting a small piece of that ball.
3-0 Mount St. Joe, 0-2 the count on Pierce Bennett with the bases loaded. Jake Howell the delivery. This ball is licked to the right side foul.
Rob Hubeck doing a little dance over there at first base to stay out of the way of that one.
Yeah, don't want to be caught in the ankles with a sharp grounder. That definitely hurts. 0-2. Pierce Bennett will send this towards the middle of the infield, and it's going to get through for a base hit. Scoring is Charlie Darby, and coming in to score is Max Costas right behind him. It's a 2-run single for Pierce Bennett.
Great piece of hitting right there from Pierce Bennett. The first couple of fouls were off to the right, but he was able to square that one up perfectly, time it well, and hit it right back up the middle. Gilman now 3-2, and just shows you how potent this offense is.
Right, and with Drew Ehrlich coming up, Howell could continue to pay for those 2 walks following the Darby hit through the hole that he sacrificed early in this inning to get into this hole.
Men on first and second for Drew Ehrlich. This ball gets away from the catcher. He can't find it, and both runners will advance. Jack Stilling just could not find that ball as it went right through his legs and then ended up behind him.
Nice job being aware by the Gilman base runners, Andrew Ehrlich, who was waving them over to the next base, able to take advantage of a wild pitch right there.
Jake Howell. He's given up 2 runs in the first inning here today against the Greyhounds. Delivery. Taken for a ball away and down low. Drew Ehrlich stands in now for Gilman with a 2-0 count on his head. 2 runners in scoring position.
Ehrlich's going to find a good pitch to hit here with a 2-0 count.
2-0, and it's put up in the air by Ehrlich, right side, going over. It'll be out of play, beyond the reach of Michael McManus. So Jake Howell gets one back here against Ehrlich. 2-1 the count. With 1 down, 3-2 Mount St. Joe, and the delivery fouled back by Ehrlich sharply towards the screen. He's not happy. He thought that one could drive out of here.
And he just missed it. Usually when it skips off the bat like that and goes straight back, it's a sign that you just missed it. Just missed the sweet spot there, and maybe Ehrlich can connect with this one. But he does have a 2-2 count. He's going to have to protect here.
Even 2-2 count on Drew Ehrlich from Jake Howell, and the delivery. This ball put up in the air right side. It's going to be foul once again. So we'll do it one more time. 2-2 with 1 down and 2 men in scoring position for Gilman.
Again, saw the velocity really increase on that 2-strike pitch from Howell. Ehrlich able to foul that one off and stay alive. We'll see if he's more ready for this one.
And the other thing this Greyhound offense does is they do not let a pitcher get out without throwing a lot of pitches to work for it. So they put a lot of pitches on these pitchers' arms, and that can be really effective late in games.
Ehrlich will send this ball to the right side, and it's going to land foul out towards the pathway coming from Bryn Mawr. Luckily, nobody was there. Number 24, Drew Ehrlich, facing number 18, Jake Howell on the 2-2 count, and Ehrlich will send it foul, almost exactly to the same spot. Just trying to straighten out that line drive there, Matt.
Yeah, and he's exhausted the supply of baseballs, it looks like, that the umpire has, so we're going to have to replenish those. But certainly putting up a fight here, 2-2 with 1 out and runners in scoring position. Want to find something to get these runners in.
Put up in the air by Ehrlich. It's going back towards Stilling, and it's going to be out of play, landing towards a golf cart behind us and to our right. I was a little bit worried for our cameraman, Ibbe Ashruf, on that play, but it looks like he's all right, not impaled by any baseballs.
Drew Ehrlich just working so hard in this at-bat, fouling off everything Howell's got. At some point, something's got to give.
2-2 delivery one more time, and Ehrlich will send this one down the third base line, foul, no play.
This has got to be at least a 10-pitch at-bat here.
Now, this has really been something from Drew Ehrlich. He is determined to put this ball into play, at the very least.
We'll see if Howell can't fool him here and finally sit Drew Ehrlich down, but who will win this battle?
Howell, another 2-2 delivery. This one up high, so Drew Ehrlich, regardless of fouling off, I don't know, maybe his last 4 or 5 pitches, still ready to take it if he needs it, and we go full 3-2. On deck is Mike Willis. 3-2 delivery, fouled back.
The umpire asking for some more baseballs, as you said, Matt. Drew Ehrlich really exhausting the supply here.
If anything, Drew Ehrlich is exhausting Howell here in the bottom of the first inning.
That's right, and it's also helping this Gilman lineup see everything that Howell's got. These hitters can watch what he's doing and maybe get a jump on him in their next at-bat.
Another 3-2 delivery to Drew Ehrlich, fouled back one more time. Staying alive is the name of the game. Smiles back towards the crowd.
He's having a little fun with it.
He always does. 3-2 with 1 down. Runners at second and third base for Gilman. They've come back with 2 runs, still down by 1. Delivery taken down low, and that at-bat turns into a walk. Who would have seen that one coming?
At long last, we are free from that at bat, and Drew Ehrlich is going to get first base out of it after all those foul balls, and only to be replaced by Isaac Ingerman, who will pinch run for the catcher, Drew Ehrlich.
I think Ehrlich deserves a rest there, Hap.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, after seeing 10 or 12 pitches, he's probably pretty tired and also has to get ready to catch in the next inning as well. So Larry Sheets giving him a breather here.
That'll be taken for a strike at the knees by Mike Willis. The bases are loaded again for the Greyhounds. 0-1 is the count on number 15, Mike Willis. Willis playing first base defensively for the Greyhounds. Swing and a miss by Mike Willis as that ball got away from him.
Willis is going to want to pick up on the momentum here. Make Cal pay for all these walks.
Delivery taken up high.
Again, as that velocity skyrockets, that command sort of, he loses it a little bit. And right there, Willis taking that for a ball. See if he can work back into this count.
Delivery from Howell. This ball will be put in play towards the middle of the infield. And the shortstop will flip to second for one. The throw to first is over his head. And a run will score. And it looks like, actually, did they get 2 runs on that? I know they got 1. I can confirm that Pierce Bennett scored.
Yes, sir, they did.
They did get 2 runs on that. So Alex Slodzitsky came in to score, and then right behind him, Pierce Bennett came in to score. And it's 4-3 in favor of Gilman. They've come storming back here on the error from the second baseman over to first base.
Yeah, and even the play at second base was close. It looked like him. Whoever was running, Isaac Ingerman might have even gotten there first. But nonetheless, he'll be called out. There will be 2 outs. But Gilman gets 2 runs out of that and has taken the lead, retaken the lead in this first inning.
Here is Ryan Williamson, now with a Gilman lead to protect. Of course, that won't be his job. That'll be Rosenfield's job when he comes back on, but Williamson trying to extend it. Will be taken for a ball 1-0. Men, well, actually, only 1 man on base here at first base. Taken down low. Taken to the inside corner for a strike, 1-1.
And amidst this frustration for Hal here with the walks and now the runs scored ultimately, watch for him over pitching. He's been trying to fire that fastball and blow it by batters, but it tends to get out of control, and I think that's what has led to his walk. So he's going to have to keep his composure up there on the mound and relax and throw his stuff.
The count 1-2 on Ryan Williamson. The runner goes. This ball is struck right to first base where it will be caught by McManus for the out. And that will end the bottom of the first inning. But I'll tell you something, we were not short of offense in the first inning. 3 runs put up in the first half of the frame, and then in the second half, 4 runs, and it's a 4-3 Gilman lead.
That's right. As we said, Julian, you can never count this Gilman offense out, and almost immediately responding to a 3-0 lead, they come back and get you with 4. So, you know, it just goes to show how deep a team this is, and we really saw hitting, you know, all types of ways getting on base. We saw hit by pitch, walks, singles, doubles, so just a terrific Gilman lineup, and, you know, they stormed all the way back to take the lead here, and now Danny Rosenfield has his work cut out for him as he's got to maintain this 1-run lead.
Yeah, and with the momentum swung in Gilman's favor at this point, Danny's got to pick up on that momentum and not let what happened last inning happen and try to keep this a scoreless inning so that Gilman can hold on to this lead and ultimately extend it.
4-3 is your score here as Rosenfield warms up to begin the second inning. Thank you for tuning into Greyhound TV today. We do very much appreciate your viewership. You are what make Greyhound TV possible. A big shout out to our production team here today. We have, of course, Ibbe Ashruf on one of our cameras. Then we have Jack Mills on the outfield camera. We have John English and Michael Johnson in our control center to our left. Our pseudo TV truck, if you will. Here is Zach Putman playing left field here today for Mount St. Joe. He will lead off the top of the second inning. He will swing and miss to begin his at-bat 0-1.
We'll see if Rosenfield goes back to his off-speed pitches, which got him a strikeout at the end of the last inning. Those seem to be working for him, and the fastball wasn't, but the off-speed was.
0-1 delivery. That falls in there beautifully for a strike. Slowed it down there for a second half.
Yeah, that's right, and you know, he seems to have a little more command on those pitches, and so we'll see if he goes to those in the future.
Putman taking it away. A nice crowd here today for some Gilman Mount St. Joe baseball.
Beautiful day.
Certainly is. It's warmed up since we started broadcasting these games. The 1-2. This ball is struck down the line left field, foul. Putman ready. Rosenfield. The delivery. That one falls in there for a strike. A called strike 3. And going back to the dugout is Putman. He just couldn't catch up with it.
Yeah, he just really froze him right there. You know, Putman, 2 strikes, didn't want to watch that pitch go by, but it looked like a ball coming out of his hand, but then just fell right in the zone. Great pitch right there from Rosenfield to retire the first man in this inning.
Here is Michael Rosen, and he will take a strike to begin his at-bat. He's the DH here today for the Gaels. And he will strike this ball to right field. Pierce Bennett backing up just slightly and making the catch.
Fairly well hit there from McManus, but Pierce Bennett right there to make the out. And Gilman is off to a good start in this inning. This half inning, excuse me.
Yeah, Rosenfeld's responded well to that poor showing in his first inning right there. In this inning, able to get a strikeout and then a quick out right here. See if he can put up the side 3 up, 3 down.
Yeah, definitely looks more composed this inning and relaxed, and perhaps it's those 4 runs that the
Right.
Greyhounds put up for him.
Definitely helps.
So here's Matt Connolly. He is the Mount St. Joe center fielder, and he is the bottom of the lineup here today. An 0-1 count on his head. Delivery. A breaking ball that didn't find the zone, just tailed away a bit inside. 1-1. One delivery from Rosenfield. This ball will be struck down to first base. Mike Willis will pick it up and take it to the bag unassisted to record the final out of the top of the second inning. We will head to the bottom of the second inning here on Greyhound TV as we just take a brief mid-inning break as we switch sides. Of course, last year we had a lot of fun taking you out to Aberdeen, Ripken Stadium, where Gilman faced Archbishop Spalding in the championship series, able to win the game at Ripken Stadium, and then they fell to them, unfortunately, for Greyhounds fans when they played at Loyola for the second game of that double elimination final. But we will be headed back to Ripken Stadium, regardless of what happens in the Gilman postseason, on Friday, April 21st, 4 o'clock. Well, actually, that game will be pushed back to 7 o'clock, most likely. But on Friday, April 21st, against John Carroll, Gilman will face, of course, John Carroll at Ripken Stadium in Aberdeen. We will be there to bring that to you live on Greyhound TV, so be sure to mark that on your calendar if you're interested in watching some baseball at Ripken Stadium, but you just do not want to make the trek up 95.
It's always a fun experience going up there. One of my first broadcasts personally, just a great time. Get set up with the whole media booth. You feel like a real pro up there.
Yeah.
So I think players do as well. So it's really a great experience for everyone.
Yeah, Aberdeen certainly makes our job easier here at Greyhound TV with their facilities.
We make do here, but having the luxury and the comfort of everything they offer at Aberdeen certainly makes our job a bit easier. A few notable games coming up on our schedule besides that one. On Saturday, April 22nd, 3 o'clock, Archbishop Spalding will take on Gilman down in Annapolis at Navy Marine Corps Stadium. That will feature our very own Matt Tomaselli to my right alongside Alexei Vlahoyanis. They will bring you the call down there. A lacrosse game between those two teams. It'll be a fun one.
Always is.
Here is Brian Nelson leading off the inning for the Greyhounds. 4-3 Gilman lead, and the delivery from Hal. This ball put up in the air, going right side. It's going to drift back towards the line, and diving, it's going to fall fair. Brian Nelson is going to go right past second base, and he's actually going to need to run back, and he will. It's going to come into third, and he's got himself a 2-bagger.
Good job by Brian Nelson to dig that one out right from the start as soon as it came off the bat. And actually a good job to turn the second base and round it, at least look to go third with so many players out there chasing that ball. The infield was kind of wide open. Of course, I think he made a wise choice, even though the throw was off, to hold up there at second and start this inning off with a double.
Back to the top of the Gilman lineup. Here is Tyler Martinez. With a man on second base, that's Brian Nelson trying to extend the lead. This ball is struck out to center field, trying to read it and making the catch out there. The runner will tag Brian Nelson, and he will come in to score. 5-3 Greyhounds.
Great job right there by Charlie Darby, knowing that he just had to put one in the outfield to score Brian Nelson, and he does just that. Sac fly, great way to get an RBI, and Gilman now coming back, scoring 5 unanswered against the St. Joe team.
Still no outs here for the Gaels. Could find themselves in a dangerous position facing 3-4-5 against this Gilman offense with no outs.
The throwback gets away. The runner will try to advance to second base, and the throw will not be in time.
And from Hal right there, just rushing to throw over to first base. He was really trying to get that out, but instead of making the right throw, he just threw it in the dirt pretty much, and Tyler Martinez, being aware, able to take second base.
Taken up high, 1-0. By Max Costas, who stands in now for Gilman.
Costas worked the walk last time. See if he's patient here again.
And the delivery, the runner goes, the throw down to third base, and the runner will stay at second base. I understand we may have lost our visuals. I think our tech team is trying to work on that right now. Not sure what could have caused that. Doesn't seem like anything's changed. But rest assured, we have guys trying to figure that out right now. 1-1 with one down, and this will be taken for a strike by Max Costas, so we'll switch over to radio mode for just a few moments. Man on second base for Gilman. That's Tyler Martinez, a 5-3 Gilman lead. 1-2 the count on Max Costas, and Costas will put it on the ground out of McManus, who will take
in. I don't know what their schedule looks like the rest of the week, but
yeah, like you were saying, I believe they do have a game on Friday, but you know, it's certainly a benefit if you can keep him in there for as long as possible, save these arms for future games, and you know, it's also just great for a guy like Danny Rosenfield's confidence as he was able to come back in that second inning, and if you can just leave him in here, he might be able to grow a little bit in his first year on this Gilman team.
Right, and give him that opportunity to see more MIAA pitching. So Rosenfield will deliver, and it will be low for a ball here against the top of the lineup. Jack Stilling, the senior catcher for the Mount St. Joseph Gaels.
1-0 the count, taken down low. And we are back here on Greyhound TV. I had to go make sure everything was in check. Have no idea what the issue was in there, but looks like we're doing okay now. That taken for a strike, 2-1. It's 5-3 in favor of the Greyhounds. 2-1 delivery. This ball put on the ground down to short. Charlie Darby up with it. The throw across will record the out.
And again, a nice pitch right there from Rosenfield going to the off speed again, and it again is working well for him as these Mount St. Joe hitters were a little out in front of it, especially on that one, and Charlie Darby able to make the nice routine play over at shortstop to record the first out of the inning.
Here is Luke Hess for the Gaels. With nobody on and one down, Rosenfield delivers to the plate, showing bunt, taking it. 1-0. Rosenfield to the plate. This ball put up in the air right side, going over Pierce Bennett, and Bennett thinks he has a play, makes the catch.
Almost overran that ball a little bit, but stuck his glove back behind his body and was able to squeeze it, catch it, I think in foul territory, right on the line about.
Pierce Bennett's such a versatile player, able to play in the infield as well as out there in right, and we've seen him make some pretty spectacular plays out there, most notably a diving catch. So he's definitely a guy Manager Larry Sheets not afraid to put out there in right field.
Right, and is looking forward to a long, good MIAA baseball career here, and potentially could be playing at the next level in a few years. So he's certainly a bright young player who has really, really developed in just not even 2 years of 2 seasons of work.
1-0 is the count. Delivery, swing, and a miss by Ethan Gallagher, the Wake Forest commit at the plate. 1-1 the count with 2 down. 3-5 in favor of Gilman. And Rosenfield, the 1-1 delivery, put up in the air center field. Staying where he is, Martinez makes the catch. 3 down here, and this will send us to Mount St. Joe's pitching performance continuing here today for Jake Howell as he will try and play damage control, having given up 5 runs so far.
And Danny Rosenfield, just another great job here. 2 straight 3-up, 3-down innings against a pretty potent Mount St. Joe offense. He's done a really nice job responding from giving up 3 runs in that first inning. He's settled down, gone to his off-speed stuff a little bit more, and Matt, you just can't say enough about what he's done here.
Yeah, Rosenfield certainly has been something today on the mound. And now we take a look at Jake Howell one more time.
And again, even having given up 5 runs, it's important to still keep your composure and make sure you don't give up any more, because this is certainly still a ball game. A 3-5 ball game is close. And Howell can keep his team in this game and give his offense the opportunity to come back here if he keeps his composure on the mound and is able to work quickly through this Gilman lineup. Though, the Gilman lineup poses a test for him to do that.
That's right. You got 5, 6, 7 coming up here, and for this Gilman lineup, that's basically 3, 4, 5. You got 3 terrific hitters coming up: Pierce Bennett, Drew Ehrlich, and then Mike Willis. So Howell's going to have to be careful here coming out.
Right, and it's just so hard for opposing pitchers to work through this lineup, because once they get through 3, 4, 5, or 3, 4, they're not done, because they still have to see 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This whole lineup, top to bottom, is really, really powerful and can always do damage.
So now we get a look at Pierce Bennett coming to the plate for Gilman. On deck, Drew Ehrlich. Loves hearing his name. And Jake Howell, the lefty, will deliver to the plate to begin this half of the inning. Put down on the ground down to second base. The throw over to McManus in time to record the first out. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here comes Ehrlich.
Good job by Howell there. 1 pitch and 1 out is always what you like to hear as a pitcher. And he's going to try to work quickly again through this and get his offense back up at the plate. But Drew Ehrlich will try to battle him again on another long at bat maybe and try to get on base.
Taken for a strike at the knees, 0-1.
That's right. Drew Ehrlich worked that 12-pitch at bat and got a walk in his first time up, so he's definitely going to make Howell work here.
Howell to the plate on the 0-1, put up in the air right side. Going back, McManus, he will give way to the second baseman who goes over and makes the catch out in shallow right field. That was Matt Gibbs with the catch. And here comes Mike Willis to the plate with 2 down, 2 quick outs here for the Gaels defense.
Yeah, Howell doing a nice job in this inning, keeping these balls on the outside of the plate so these Gilman hitters aren't able to really, get the sweet spot on the bat. And, 2 quick outs, that's what you like to see if you're a Mount St. Joe fan.
This one put on the ground down to third base. Gallagher up with it, makes the throw, and a quick inning here for Jake Howell. Maybe the quickest inning of the year so far, Hap.
I think that was 4
pitches,
yeah. So it can't get much better than that, and certainly a nice job by Howell responding after giving up runs in each of his last 2 innings, going 3 up, 3 down right here. And, after that sudden offensive outburst, it seems like we're settling into a pitcher's duel here between Rosenfield and Howell.
Yep, and that's exactly what you need if you're going to try to work back from this 5-3 lead that the Gilman Greyhounds have, and you're the Gaels. And with their offense, of course, looks like it can do some damage, and it showed some potential there in the first inning, and they're going to have to try to get back to that against Danny Rosenfield here in order to try to chip away at a 2-run lead and get back in this game.
Of course, be sure to check out GreyhoundTV.org for all things Greyhound TV. You can find our staff page. You can find our full archive of games. Every single game after we broadcast it is live, available at GreyhoundTV.org. Everything you need, including our broadcast schedule, GreyhoundTV.org.
we'll see in this inning if Danny Rosenfield's able to keep this hot streak alive. He's retired 7 straight batters, I should say, in these last couple of innings, and he's done a really nice job going to his off-speed pitches to pick up some outs, and also varying his location with some of these pitches as well. So Rosenfield gonna look to continue his success.
Rosenfield warming up here as Drew Ehrlich is also warming up and taking some throws down to second base. Michael McManus will lead off here for Mount St. Joe. And Danny Rosenfield, he's got a 2-run lead to work with nobody down in the 4th. This ball is put in the air to center field, and it's going to drop in front of Martinez for a base hit. McManus will pull up at first base with a single to lead things off for the Gaels.
And again, that's the start you want if you're the Gaels in this 4th inning.
Now it's pitcher versus pitcher. Jake Howell at the plate. On the mound also today for the Gaels. Versus Rosenfield with a man on first base and nobody down. This will be taken for a strike. Finds the zone. (0-1). Small lead for McManus at first. Delivery showing bunt, getting up Drew Ehrlich, saying, "You're not going anywhere, Michael McManus," and throws back to Danny Rosenfield.
Yeah, definitely not a good idea to steal on Drew Ehrlich. We've seen him throw out so many runners over his career here. He's such a strong arm behind the plate.
Delivery taken for a ball inside. As backing away was Jake Howell on the pitch. 2-1 from Rosenfield, who stares down the runner at first, looks down to his cleats, and now looks towards home plate, where he delivers the 2-1. This one fouled back. We go even 2-2. Five to 3 your score. 2-2 count with a man on first base for Jake Howell. Delivery. This ball is put down to Mike Willis. He will throw to second base to get one force out. The throw back not in time, but they do get the lead runner, and that's what's important.
Heads up fielding right there for Mike Willis, knowing he could get the lead runner in time, and that's definitely the play you want to make right there, as you don't want a guy in scoring position, especially with only one out against the middle of this Mount St. Joe lineup. So a nice play by Mike Willis.
Standing in, Matt Gibbs. With a man on first base, Rosenfield with one down in the inning. Delivery taken for a ball, 1-0. You also have to commend Mike Willis for making an accurate throw there. It's tough to have to avoid the runner going down the line.
That's right. It's tough when you when you're right on that straight line with the guy you're trying to throw it to. You got to really adjust your throwing motion, and Mike Willis did a nice job there.
1-0 the count. The breaking ball doesn't find the zone. 2-0 now. Ahead in the count here, Matt Gibbs. He's the second baseman for Mount St. Joe. St. Joe starting off the year 0-2 in conference, trying to pick up their first conference win against Gilman here today, but they're going to need more runs to do that. Put up in the air right side. Looks like it'll drift out of play beyond the reaches of Drew Ehrlich and Mike Willis. (2-1) back, and the runner gets back safely. This ball put on the ground down to Max Costas. They go to second for one. The throw to first to Mike Willis. Not in time. The speedy Gibbs able to get down the line in time. 2 down with a man on first base.
Nice stretch by Willis there, though. Extending his legs and reaching that toe on the bag and able to catch that throw there from Williamson over at second base. And get close to turning a double play. Not quite, though, but Gilman will have 2 outs with a man on first.
Here's Zach Putman with a man on first base. Michael Rosen on deck. This one away. Drew Ehrlich going over to get it. Of course, these Gaels, they have nightmares of being at this field because, Matt, we know this is where they were eliminated from the playoffs last year by the Gilman Greyhounds. That was a ferocious Greyhounds team that made a finals run.
Yeah, and kind of a surprise team, too. This year, definitely a lot of eyes on the Gilman Greyhounds after their run last year, and certainly high expectations for them. Though I think they believe that they're even above those expectations because despite beating Calvert Hall 4-2, that Calvert Hall was ranked above them again in the rankings, which was interesting to see. Of course, Gilman suffered an uncharacteristic loss to John Carroll, who's not quite up there with those teams, and perhaps that's the logic behind putting Calvert Hall 1 above Gilman's 2.
This one struck to center field going over Martinez, and he makes a nice running catch to end the Mount St. Joe half of the inning. He does a nice job of getting there in time, and I'll tell you something, that's where you see speed being so important in the outfield, Hap.
That's right. Center field is where you really need to be the fastest guy on the field, and right there, Tyler Martinez showing he's just that. And can't say enough about Danny Rosenfield. After giving up 3 runs in that first inning, 3 straight innings here with no runs given up, and in that inning, gives up the leadoff single, but able to come back at 3 quick outs, and this Gilman team maintains that 5-3 lead that they have.
So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning here on Greyhound TV. Again, thank you very much for tuning in here today. The Gaels versus the Greyhounds, and Jake Howell still on the mound for Mount St. Joe. They're trying to see if he can eat some innings here.
Howell has also done a nice job responding. After giving up 5 runs in the first 2 innings, he's gone 2 straight without giving up any runs, so settling down in this game.
For those of you spring training connoisseurs, the Orioles fell to Tampa Bay today in Port Charlotte, 15-6. It's never fun when you lose like that, but it means a whole lot less when it doesn't count.
That's right. Excited for this season to start up on Monday against the Blue Jays. All eyes are going to be on this Orioles team.
Kevin Gausman on the mound to start things off for them this year. Should be a fun one. Of course, the projection's always sending the Orioles to the basement, but they always seem to disprove that.
I like it that way. Get the underdog mentality going.
Taken for a strike. Oh, 0-1 on Williamson. Delivery taken down low. Even count 1-1 for Ryan Williamson, who's leading things off here for the Greyhounds in the 4th. Williamson puts it on the ground down to second base, gives the throw, and that will record the out over to McManus.
Now you got Brian Nelson coming up, who was able to reach in his first at-bat, come around and score on a sac fly. So another one of these Gilman guys who can just get on, and he's got so much speed, too. Get around the bases.
First delivery to Nelson. He shows bunt and will take that one for a ball, 1-0.
And Nelson, probably the best base runner on this Gilman team. I think one of the unsung elements of the game and one of the unsung elements of Brian Nelson. Almost perfect on the base path.
This ball put down foul left side as he starts to take off, then realizes it's foul and heads back to the plate.
So they love to get him on base and let him use that base running knowledge and ability to move around, to navigate that base path very well and manufacture runs, as this Gilman team likes to do.
Delivery from Hal. Taken for a ball. 2-1 on Brian Nelson. Nelson, the second batter of the inning for the Greyhounds. He calls time, fixes his gloves, checks the bat, now steps back into the box.
Important to remember that not necessarily the fastest guy on the field is going to be the best base runner on the field. It's a mental game.
That's right. You talk about Brian Nelson's baseball IQ. I mean, manager Larry Sheets will sometimes put him out in left field and actually DH for him. So he just trusts him so much out there. He really understands the game really well. And like you're talking about, Matt, he's a great base runner with that knowledge as well.
Right. He's able to put those situations in his head and know how to respond very, very quickly to any type of situation, anything that could go on the field in the moment. So a very great baseball mind.
3-2 delivery up high, and Brian Nelson does a nice job there of having a good at-bat and getting down to first base with one out on the walk. We turn the lineup over to Tyler Martinez, who made a very nice running grab to end the previous half of the inning.
And we'll see if he goes to that bunt again, as that's how he got on first last time, just putting one down the third baseline, the way he likes to get on.
With a man on first base, this one is struck towards the middle of the infield, but picked up by the shortstop, the tag for the out at second, and then on to first for the double play.
Quick way to turn around the inning there for the Gaels. Perhaps Gilman thought they had some momentum with the Nelson walk, but the Gaels say no as Tyler Martinez grounds into the double play, and that inning is over.
So now we head to the fifth inning here at Allen M. Barrett Field at Gilman School. The Gaels and the Greyhounds. 2 runs separate them, 5-3 your score, and the Mount St. Joe Gaels will come up to bat trying to limit this deficit that they face. They started off with a sizable lead. It was 3-0, and then the Gilman offense had something to say about it. In the bottom of the first inning, they scored 4 to come right back and take the lead by 1 run, and since then, Gilman's tacked on 1 more to make it 5-3, and that's your story of the game.
Yeah, and this really has developed into quite the pitcher's duel, as since the bottom of that second inning, nothing has been scored by either team, and these pitchers have really settled in, done a nice job. Danny Rosenfield coming out here for his 5th inning of work.
The Gilman infield defense from third to first. You have Max Costas, then Charlie Darby, Ryan Williamson, and Mike Willis. Catching Drew Ehrlich on the mound, of course, Rosenfield.
One thing they like to stay with, these Gilman Greyhounds, is their defensive lineup. That you don't often see change too much, of course. They'll have to move kids around a little bit to get pitchers in the rotation, but generally, you're going to see a similar structure every day from the Greyhounds as far as the field goes.
Delivery to the plate, that will be swung on for a strike, 0-1. This is Rosen versus Rosenfield here.
The battle of the suffix, I guess.
Delivery 0-1.
Or lack thereof.
1-1 the count on Rosen from Rosenfield. 1-1 delivery. Taken for a strike of the knees, a beautiful pitch from Rosenfield to take the lead 1-2. Nobody on. Mount St. Joe trying to spark a rally here with their DH Rosen taken away for a ball. 2-2 even count on Michael Rosen, number 24. Two-two delivery. Swung on and missed, and Rosen will head back down to the dugout on the K.
Nice pitch right there from Danny Rosenfield. He, it looked like the hitter was thinking it was going to be down in the zone or maybe even a little bit outside, but Rosenfield went high heat and able to get a strikeout there to begin this inning.
Here is Matt Conley. And Conley will show bunt and take. 1-0 the count. Looks like we're taking a moment, a little conversation between the umpire and the Gilman bench.
Seems like the Gilman side thinks that there was a foul tip there. The home plate umpire says he doesn't have anything. Checks with the first base umpire, who also doesn't believe that the ball tipped the bat, though some protests from the Gilman crowd here.
Yeah, we heard a little bit of that objection coming from our right, and immediately after that ball was caught by Drew Ehrlich. This one put up in the air. For a second, I thought it was coming towards us, but instead it's going towards Drew Ehrlich, and Ehrlich will make the catch.
Had a little trouble finding it there, and a little trouble also getting rid of his mask, but does right away just in time and is able to snag it a little off balance, but made the play and gets an out for Danny Rosenfield, who has turned this game around and having himself a nice day.
He really has, Matt, and again, starting off this inning just the right way, getting a strikeout and then quick pop out here. So if he can get one more, give this Gilman team 5 solid innings.
He has been on fire since the start of the second inning. This one taken for a strike. 0-1 the count as the Gaels lineup turns over to Jack Stilling, the leadoff man in their lineup with 2 down. Delivery from Rosenfield. This ball is struck down to third base, scooped up by Max Costas, and Costas will make the throw to Mike Willis to record the out. So the Gaels are retired without reaching base, and this will bring up the Gilman offense as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning here on Greyhound TV. This Mount St. Joe squad led by first-year head coach Rod Cameron, and I'll tell you, when you got a guy that's spearheading your campaign who's doing it for the first time, that makes things a little bit more difficult. But this Mount St. Joe team, they've got a lot of spunk in them here today. They've been trying real hard. I know they're down by 2 runs, and they've got an 0-2 conference record, but they certainly haven't shown any signs of giving up here today and just waving the white flag.
Absolutely not. We've seen them do a really nice job. You know, look like that Gilman team after that first inning was just going to come out and maybe hang some double digits on them potentially, but they've held strong, and this game's still within 2 runs, so certainly a nice job by the Mount St. Joe Gaels, and I don't think that 0-2 conference record really indicates how talented this team actually is.
Right, again, and this program has a history of solid baseball. Of course, Mark Teixeira and Steve Clevenger.
Yeah,
that's right.
Alumni of Mount St. Joseph. And yeah, I think they can still definitely be a good team. Obviously not the way they want to start their season, but Rod Cameron, the first-year skipper, has been in the program for a long time, and I'm sure he can continue a legacy for the Gaels.
Steve Clevenger used to be a member of the Baltimore Orioles, now I believe with the Mariners.
Sorry, we made the trade for Trumbo.
That's
actually.
right. Yeah.
Pretty good deal.
That was definitely a good deal, although we do love our Baltimore homegrown still. It was a good trade for Baltimore, getting the MLB homer leading Mark Trumbo last year. Here's Charlie Darby to lead things off for the Greyhounds in the 5th inning. He will take this one for a ball inside. 1-0. They count on Charlie Darby with Max Costas on deck. Delivery to the plate. A good take from Charlie Darby. 2-0. Howell not fooling him. 2-0 delivery up high. It suddenly becomes 3-0, and Howell on the verge of issuing a 4-pitch walk, trying not to do so. The 3-0 taken for a strike, and Charlie Darby just stands, perhaps in a little bit of disbelief. He thought maybe for a second he was getting ready to turn to head for first, but that was indeed a strike in the outside corner. Taken for a strike one more time. Charlie Darby just not loving it, but 3-2 the call here.
Yeah, those are some close pitches right there, just on the inside of the plate, but now 3-2, Charlie Darby got a battle back.
Darby will take for a ball. That pitch was very, very close, but he will reach first base with nobody down off the free pass.
Yeah, he hung around there a little bit. It looked like a similar location to the first two, or the previous pitch that was called a strike. But luckily for Darby, he did end up getting that walk that he had been waiting for. It seemed like.
So here is Max Costas with a man on first base, and Costas will swing and miss. Was going for the home run ball there, 0-1.
Trying to hit a 5-run home run right there, Max Costas. Hard swing, as always.
As expected, 0-1. Falls for a ball, 1-1. On deck, Alex Slodzinski with nobody down, and Jake Howell still pitching today for the Gaels on the mound. Delivery, this ball is struck down into the hole, third base side for a base hit. Going up to second base there, the lead runner, Charlie Darby. And with nobody down, Gilman has 2 men on, 1 at first, 1 at second for Alex Slodzinski.
And a nice start to this inning for this Gilman team. He had Darby working the full count walk, and then Costas doing what he does, getting a nice single there in between the shortstop and third baseman. Alex Slodzinski now, with all the power in the world, comes up with a chance to maybe put this game away with a big hit.
Alex Slodzinski shows bunt, puts it down, running it out for first base, trying to throw his Howell, and he will get Slodzinski, but both runners move up off the sack bunt.
Right, and I don't think that's something Gaels would expect to see with such a powerful hitter from Slodzinski. The Greyhounds will lay down a bunt, but again, this team is ready and willing to play small ball and have everyone kind of do their part to manufacture runs, and it looks like that was their strategy here as well.
Yeah, very interesting decision there, having your cleanup man put down a bunt. Not too often, maybe for the Orioles app, you'd see Mark Trumbo or Chris Davis put down a bunt, but that was the call there. Gilman just valuing these runs, playing the small ball game. Not all teams do that, but they're doing it here today.
That's right. I think that's why this Gilman lineup is so successful. Is they have all this power, but they're willing to play small ball, like Matt said. And when you're willing to get your runs in any sort of way, that's how you're going to score early and often.
First delivered to Pierce Bennett. This one is shot towards shortstop. It's going to go right off the glove. Coming in is Charlie Darby. He will score, and that'll be another Gilman run. That'll be probably a hit. It doesn't seem to be an error, and it's 6-3 Gilman.
And Larry Sheets is going to look like a genius now after bunting those guys over. That hit that only really advanced runners a base, and Max Costas was stranded on second, but that bunt before from Alex Slodzinski got him over and scored the Greyhounds a run. So that decision ended up working out to have Slod's bunt, sacrifice bunt there.
So a meeting at the mound with Jake Howell. It won't be the end of his day just yet.
See how much longer that leash really is, though, as Howell was going strong for a few innings here, but now starting to maybe show signs that he's at the end of the tank.
And Hab, I know a guy that could maybe end his day.
Yeah, that's right, Julian. Drew Ehrlich, not the guy you want to see right now if you're Howell.
Men on first and second. Drew Ehrlich fouls it back, straight back, 0-1. Ehrlich trying to straighten out these line drives. He's had a bunch of them foul here today. Maybe trying to take one deep or just get something in play. Because when he gets it in play, it's always hit hard. On deck, Mike Willis. The runner goes, and there will be no throw. He slides into third base safely.
Costas really timed that perfectly. He went right on the first move of Howell and was halfway down to second base by the time that ball was out of his hands, so able to take third base pretty easily right there.
Good heads-up base running there.
Delivery to the plate, put up in the air, foul by Drew Ehrlich. One to the count with one out in the fifth inning for the Greyhounds. They lead by 3 runs, trying to extend that with men on the corners. Delivery from Howell. This one put on the ground by Ehrlich down to second base. Gibbs the flip for one, the throw to first. McManus records the putout on the other end. There is the double play for the Gaels. It's just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, pretty tough break right there for Gilman as Drew Ehrlich hits a pretty soft one down to second base. Thought he might be able to get to first in time to allow that run to score, but Gaels did a nice job turning 2 very quickly and only limiting this to a 1-run inning for Gilman.
But you see how crucial that bunt from Alex Slodzinski becomes. Now the Greyhounds did actually end up getting a run out of that inning, whereas they otherwise would not have. So a smart call there from the Gilman Greyhounds to have the powerful Alex Slodzinski lay one down and advance the runners and let Pierce Bennett drive them in on a hard hit, but infield single.
And, we don't have Nathan Heinlein on the call here today. He's homesick, unfortunately. If you're tuning in, Nathan, how you doing? But he loves to talk about how if you do something and it's just a gamble. If it works, you look like a genius. If it doesn't work, you look like an idiot. And I think in a situation like that, manager Larry Sheets decided that it would be a good idea to put down the bunt, brings a run home, end up having a double play. If he hadn't made that decision, probably wouldn't have ended up having the same outcome.
That's right. Yeah, the tough decisions as a manager. What to do, especially with a cleanup hitter like Slodzinski. Definitely a tough call, but like you said, Julian, he winds up looking like the genius right there as the run comes in, and Gilman now has a 3-run cushion with only 2 more chances for the St. Joe team to try to tie it up or take the lead. And also interesting to see Danny Rosenfield coming back out here for his 6th inning of work. It's pretty surprising. I don't even know if we've seen any Gilman starter go 6 innings so far in this year, but can't really argue with the call since after that first inning he's just done a tremendous job limiting these St. Joe's hitters.
6-3 the score. Rosenfield, as Ab said, right back here in the 6th inning, trying to ensure that the Gaels stay at this mark and do not come back to erase the deficit. Another big shout out to our whole production team here for Greyhound TV. Ibbe, Ashruf, John English, Michael Johnson, and Jack Mills. Thank you very much to all of them. And here we go for the Gaels. Luke Hess steps in now, the Mount St. Joe shortstop. And Hess taps home plate and is ready to go. The Gaels need a spark, and Hess will try and provide it against Rosenfield. The delivery. This one struck on the ground towards the middle of the infield. Charlie Darby over. The throw is in time. A beautiful play from Charlie Darby, sweeping across the second base area.
Yeah, really nice job right there from Charlie Darby. He does such a nice job with those, routine ground balls that we see a lot of errors on in this high school game, but almost never see one from him. He's just gathers it, collects himself, and makes the nice calm throw over to first base to get the guy to start the 6th inning.
Here is Ethan Gallagher. Gallagher, a very dangerous, prolific hitter for these Gaels. Taken down low for a ball. The count goes to 1-0 from Rosenfield to Gallagher. And the 1-0 to Gallagher falls beautifully into the zone for a strike, and there's nothing more attractive than a beautiful breaking ball.
No, there really isn't, especially coming out of a lefty's hand. Just looks so great, and easy way to pick up a strike right there for Rosenfield.
This one put up in the air towards Mike Willis. Willis ranging over right side, and he cannot make the play as it falls behind him.
Yeah, these Gilman fielders having a tough time over there in this right field area, sort of tracking down the ball. We saw Pierce Bennett in right field, and then Drew Ehrlich behind the plate sort of struggle with this ball in the sun, and, Mike Willis unable to make the out right here, but 2 strikes now. Rosenfield looking to put this man away.
It's always hard creeping towards the fence, too. That lingering feeling of the fence or the wall coming on. Always a tough play to make for a fielder. Luckily, no damage done because it was a foul ball. But you always want to try to get extra outs where you can, and that's one of those places you do, but certainly not the end of the world for the Greyhounds.
1-2 delivery, and Gallagher will go down on the swing. You got Rosenfield out here today for Gilman, knocking a guy who's committed to Wake Forest for baseball down to the dugout on a beautiful pitch. That's when you know things are really going your way and you are on fire.
I was just going to say, this is a freshman in his 6th inning of work, and he's putting down a Wake Forest commit. Can't say enough about that.
Right. He's dealing.
1-0 the count here on Michael McManus, who's a commit himself, committed to Pittsburgh to play baseball, also in the ACC.
Probably don't get to start their season up in Pittsburgh as soon as they do down in Wake Forest, but certainly an esteemed program at Pittsburgh they have for baseball.
Yeah, they have to wait a little bit longer, I think, to start their home games. This one lined into right field for a base hit by McManus. In fact, there's only one school in the ACC that doesn't have baseball, and it's Syracuse. The rest of them have baseball because most of them are in warm climates. Pittsburgh, warm enough to pull off most of the season, but
clearly
not.
Boston College also has a baseball program.
Yeah.
It's tough up there in Boston. Doesn't get warm till around April, so they do a nice job up there as well.
Right.
Delivery to the plate for a ball, 1-0.
What you have to worry about is field damage too, not just have some after effects to those storms. I know a few high schools in Boston a few years ago with the Snowmageddon had to cancel a big part of their season, perhaps their whole season. I think I've heard up north it got pretty bad.
Well, that's what will happen up in those colder climates. It's just so unpredictable in those March and April months with those snowstorms that can come in randomly. It's very tough to deal with. And when you've got, when you talk about Boston, you do have a lot of snow, but the cold doesn't necessarily linger as much as it does in, say, upstate New York. So it makes sense why Syracuse wouldn't have that baseball program versus a place like Boston College. Closer to the coast, you get a little bit more of that coastal warmth. Down right side foul.
We should be doing the weather, Julian. Add that to our sports repertoire.
Certainly, Julian, multi-talented, could take care of that for us, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Doing my best out here, doubling as your resident meteorologist. Not really. Man on first base delivery. This one taken for a ball. 2-2 even count.
Rosenfield again going to that breaking ball with 2 strikes. He's been doing that a lot in this game. Right there, unable to pull the string and get the out, but we'll see if he goes back to it again.
The runner goes. Delivery on the 2-2 line, foul right side. That was a Drew Ehrlich line drive foul. We've seen him do that a lot today, and now we're seeing it come from Jake Howell at the plate right now, 2-2.
Important pitcher-on-pitcher battle right here. Howell trying to help himself out and score a few runs.
2-2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. A man on first base delivery from Rosenfield. Bounces in, hits the mask of Ehrlich. We go full, 3-2 with 2 down.
You know, if you're St. Joe, you're faced with only 4 more outs. I know they already have 2 outs in this inning, but if they could chip away at all at this lead here right now, that would be really helpful for them and make kind of the lead look less daunting come the bottom of the 7th.
Delivered for a called strike 3, and Jake Howell knew it. Rosenfield on fire.
Yeah, just a terrific pitch right there. He had a 3-2 count, so he had to worry about walking him, and he was able to just paint that outside corner perfectly. Howell couldn't swing at it because he thought it might be a ball, but it just caught the outside of that plate, and wow, just a great outing today from Danny Rosenfield.
He's also mixed up his pitches significantly. I think that's been one of the most impressive parts. He can go with this straightaway fastball, but then he's got this Clayton Kershaw-esque breaking ball that falls in there, that full curveball. It really is nice.
It really is, and he can go to that whenever he really needs a strike. That's sort of been his go-to, and these Mount St. Joe hitters often have been out in front of it, and he's been able to pick up some nice easy ground balls and some strikeouts with that pitch. So really a great outing here today from Danny Rosenfield, going 6 strong, only giving up 3 earned in that first inning. And if Drew Ehrlich comes on in the 7th inning, which I believe he will, Rosenfield will be able to pick up the win today.
Right, and I think that's what you saw him not do in that first inning, why he struggled. These St. Joe hitters were all over him. They knew what was coming, and they were driving that fastball. But now Rosenfield has been able to find a point where he has these hitters completely off balance, and they do not know what's coming. And they are having trouble responding to it clearly, as evidenced by the fact that they have not scored since that first inning.
So Mount St. Joe does finally put a new pitcher on the mound here today. This is number 15, Nate Reese, checking into the game. He will face Mike Willis, who will lead things off in the inning for the Greyhounds. Right behind Mike Willis, we'll get a look at Ryan Williamson, and then the bottom of the lineup, represented by Brian Nelson.
If you're Nate Reese, I think you want to go right after these Gilman hitters and try to get outs here. I know Howell was struggling with location a lot, and I think that gave these Gilman hitters the opportunity to, A, they got on base, and then B, the opportunity to kind of take advantage of that and get hits afterward. But I think Reese, being a fresh arm, can go right at these hitters and just try to get the ball in play and let his fielders do the job of getting them out of this inning so they can chip away at this 3-run lead.
And sometimes the name of the game can be location, 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 not to borrow from real estate. But, of course, you think of a guy like Donnie Hart for the Orioles, have somebody
That's
that
right.
doesn't have a ton of velocity, but he's got a great ability to really locate these pitches well, as this one will go down, and the throw over by shortstop is awaiting the call in time to get the out. It was a little bit close from our perspective, and he is retired, Mike Willis is, 1 down.
And that's a really nice play from the Gaels shortstop there. Able to dive and stretch and snow cone that ball in his glove, was able to secure it and then get up and make a good enough throw to get Mike Willis out. A really good job there to play your position as a shortstop and to know the situation there where you just need an out and you can't let these Gilman Greyhounds get another runner on base. And that was a fine job by the Gaels to get that out.
That one up high to Ryan Williamson. 1-0 the count, and now the 1-0 delivery will be taken for a ball. We go 2-0 on Ryan Williamson with nobody on and 1 down here in the 6th inning for Gilman. On deck, Brian Nelson, the senior. Delivery taken for a strike, 2-1. Nate Reese on his way to the plate. Another strike. 2-2 even count on Ryan Williamson.
Like you said, Matt, Reese going right at these hitters, pounding the strike zone, trying to force them to swing.
Put him in the air, foul right side. Nate Reese on the mound as calling a timeout there, Ryan Williamson. Now he checks back in. And the 2-2 delivery with one down up high, 3-2.
And if you're Reese, you do not want to walk Ryan Williamson here.
Williamson will put it on the ground down to short. Picked up, and the throw over is in time to record the out. A nice play there made again by the shortstop, Luke Hess.
Yeah, Hess has done a really nice job in this inning, and we've seen him make a couple of plays in this game, able to turn a few double plays over there at short. So definitely a nice player for this Gaels team.
So we'll see Brian Nelson here. And Gaels are looking for one more out before they can turn their attention to trying to put up 3 runs by using less than 3 outs in this next half inning to try to come back in this game. Of course, Gilman will turn their attention to stopping that from happening.
This one put on the ground by Brian Nelson, scooped up by Nate Reese, and the throw over to McManus is in time to record the out to end the inning. We head into the 7th, the final inning of play, the last chance for the Gaels. It sounds like it could be a movie title, but it's about time these Gaels come back in this one. They're down 6-3, and they need to do something in the final inning of play.
I was going to say I had sort of a Braveheart feel.
It does.
When you just said that. But,
it does. You have,
it's going to be tough for this Gaels team against Drew Ehrlich. We expected to see him come out of here as the Gilman closer, and he's done such a terrific job this year. I don't think he's blown a single save yet, and he has such great velocity, and like we were saying earlier, that location, he's all about that. So this Gaels team going to have to manufacture 3 runs to try to, keep this game moving.
And have to get a hit off of Drew Ehrlich, an extra base hit. They may need somebody with the power like William Wallace at the plate because that may be what it takes against this Gilman closer, Drew Ehrlich, who does such a good job in the mound in the final inning.
Right, has the stuff and the ability to be an ace on this team. Of course, for catching purposes, I think they use him in this closer role kind of more or less exclusively, but certainly we saw him pitch in the championship against Spalding last year and really in that first game at Aberdeen keep this Greyhound team alive and put in a couple innings of work, I think it was, to shut down that Spalding offense and really inspire kind of this team in that game and let them get that win. So Drew Ehrlich certainly has some ability on the mound, and as he takes the mound, we'll see Will Weinfeld move behind the plate here to fill that duty for this inning.
Weinfeld's sort of like his own personal catcher. He comes out whenever Drew Ehrlich comes into pitch.
That's really nice to have that.
It certainly is, yeah. We see that often in the majors with, like, knuckleballers. They get their own catchers who come out, once a week to catch for them. And although Jordan Ehrlich is not a knuckleballer, it's definitely nice to have your own catcher back there who knows your signals and your tendencies pretty well.
You don't see a lot of those guys out there.
Yeah, you don't. Not anymore.
Delivery from Ehrlich. That one falls in there for a strike. A nice off-speed pitch.
Yeah, great. That was a good way to start the at-bat. Come at him off speed, throw him off.
Taken down low for a ball.
Almost looked like a knuckleball as we were talking about that,
Matt, in your playing experience, have you had to face any knuckleballers in your memory?
I have, but at the younger stage, it's hard to find a knuckleballer who throws a knuckleball that really does what it's supposed to do.
Right.
So it ends up being not quite as effective as we see MLB knuckleballers relatively being, but sometimes can be hard to hit.
Swing and a miss, and we now have a 2-2 count on Matt Gibbs. Gibbs will foul this one off, just barely. To stay alive, 2-2 with nobody down. The last chance for the Gaels, 6-3, they're down. Ehrlich delivers. Swing and a miss by Matt Gibbs. He will head right back to the dugout. And coming up here is Zach Putman with one down.
Wonderful off-speed pitch right there from Drew Ehrlich. Looked like that was going to be a fastball down the middle, but that just fell off the table right there at the end, and able to get the strikeout here to begin this inning.
And you see that strong off-speed stuff from Drew Ehrlich. Again, mixing it up against these Gaels batters, and they are on their heels. As the Gilman lacrosse team crowds around us, showing support.
That they are.
Wade Alsler leading those guys over here.
0-1 they count with one down. Drew Ehrlich trying to close it out. This is the second consecutive game this has happened to us at.
Yeah, it's sort of like the end of the game ritual, if you want to say it that way. Team comes over and supports the team.
1-1 they count. Delivery from Ehrlich. This one fouled back by the Mount St. Joe hitter, Zach Putman. The count goes 1-2 with one down.
Hey, listen up.
1-2 with one down. Drew Ehrlich delivers to the plate, and right out ahead of that one was Putman. He'll go down swinging, and one more out for the Gaels. It'll lie in the hands of Michael Rosen.
What's our spell? Gilman! Who's going? Gilman!
And there you go. You get that live on the air. It's a nice little atmospheric touch that we provide you here on Greyhound TV. Of course, all planned. Not really. So we have a battle of the 24s, Drew Ehrlich versus Michael Rosen, and it's an 0-1 count on Michael Rosen. Rosen will send this one down the third baseline, foul. Quickly 0-2 from Drew Ehrlich to Michael Rosen.
Drew Ehrlich pounding the zone right here, and just one strike away from ending this game.
The Gaels put up a valiant effort here today, but they're one strike away from going down against Drew Ehrlich and the Gilman Greyhounds. The delivery from Ehrlich, it'll be taken for a ball, just barely missing the zone.
Of course, the lacrosse team finding that call a little bit questionable. Perhaps maybe thinking it caught the corner.
Delivery on the 1-2, taken inside, 2-2 even count. Michael Rosen staying patient.
Ehrlich can't have that off-speed drop in. Tries twice. Let's see if he comes with the fastball here to try to strike this guy out.
Ehrlich tries to end it. It's a swing and a foul back.
Yeah, coach, nice throw.
Drew Ehrlich. 2-2 count on Michael Rosen, trying to finally put this game away with two down, 6-3 Gilman. The score, the delivery, put down to Max Costas. Up with it. The throw across is in time to record the out. And Mike Willis with the put out at first base ends this game 6-3 in favor of the Greyhounds here at Allen M. Barrett Field. A much-needed in-conference win. They don't come easy in the MIAA app.
They certainly don't, and this Gilman team put together an all-around effort here today. You saw Danny Rosenfield go 6 strong. They give up 3 earned, and then this Gilman offense come out and put up 6 on this Mount St. Joe's team. So a great win here today in conference, and this Gilman team just keeps on winning.
It got quiet.
And you saw, yeah, right, and the lacrosse team has gone away, so you may be able to hear us a little bit better. But
yeah.
Gilman came out kind of at a rough start there in the top of the first. On defense looked really lethargic and not in the game, and Danny Rosenfeld did not have his best stuff. And from that third out, from that point on, the Gilman Greyhounds played a phenomenal game there forward, putting up 4 the next half inning, and then Danny Rosenfield putting up 5 scoreless innings after that, and Ehrlich capping it off with 3 more outs. Greyhounds looked really good today, with the exception of the top of the first, but they sorted things out very, very quickly and got a great conference win here against a good baseball program in the Mount St. Joseph Gaels, who will fall to 0-3 in conference.
And Rosenfield really was the story of this game, having a rough start, but then coming back, the comeback story for him. He comes back and he makes sure that the Gaels, they don't get one more run in this game after the first inning, so he did a fantastic job recovering. You'll see us again on Greyhound TV next week, April 5th on Wednesday, 4 o'clock p.m. The Gilman Greyhounds will take on St. Paul's, another playoff matchup that the Greyhounds faced last year, repeating itself this year in the regular season. St. Paul's and Gilman right here on Allen M. Barrett Field, and also right here on Greyhound TV, so be sure to catch that one as we will bring it to you live next Wednesday. But until then, I am